So in our work on percentages of amounts, we've so far met working with 50% and 25% of amounts. And what we did for 50% of an amount, we used the fraction a half was equal to 50%, and also for 25% we learned that that was the same thing as a quarter, and therefore we could work out percentages of an amount for a 50% or a 25%. What we're meeting in this lesson is we're looking at 10% of amounts, and what your success criteria today will be is to be able to understand why 10% is the same easy fraction as 1/10, and therefore be able to find 10% of an amount. So if we look at this first diagram here, we've got a square that's got split up into 100 little pieces, so each bit is worth 100. So if we said what fraction is shaded blue, there are 10 pieces out of 100 that is shaded blue. So in other words, 10 out of 100, we know that that would mean the same thing as 10%. But we can write this 10 out of 100 as a simpler fraction. And also, if you looked at this diagram here, you'll see it's the same size of diagram, but instead of having all the little squares, we've got 10 equal pieces. So each of these is worth a tenth, each of the little bits, which means that 10 out of 100, hopefully you can see that 10 out of 100 is the same fraction as just having one larger piece out of 10. So that's your equivalent fraction, and the other way to remember about this is that to get your equivalent fraction, we have divided the top and the bottom of the fraction by 10. But it's this 10%, remembering that that is equal to a tenth, and how we work with a tenth of something. So this is what I need you to know. So since 10% equals 1/10, we would find 10% of an amount by finding a tenth of the amount, and to find a tenth of the amount, basically you're going to be dividing by 10. So this is the key here. To find 10%, you want to be finding a tenth, and that means that we're going to be dividing by 10. So let's look at some fractions. So to work out 10% of £90, I know that 10% is the same thing as working out a tenth. So I'm going to write that down. So that means I'm trying to do 90 and dividing by 10. Now hopefully you can do that and from your times tables and know that the answer to that would be 9. In number 2 here, we've got a little problem. In a group of 170 people, 10% of the group have blue eyes. So if you're asked how many people that is, you need to be working out what is 10% of 170. And as you've just learned, 10% is the same as 1/10 of 170. Now that means you're going to take 170 and divide by 10. Now when you're dividing by 10, the easy way to do that, sometimes people talk about taking a 0 off, but what is actually happening when you do divide by 10 is your place value. You've got hundreds, tens and units. When you divide by 10, everything moves one place value to the right, so you end up with a 1 in the tens column, 7 in the units. That 0 would end up after the units in the tens column, and you could technically write 17.0, or we can just say the answer is 17. So how many people in the group have blue eyes? You'd say 7 people, 17 rather. So 17 people have blue eyes, would be what we would say there. And number 3, you've got 10% of £52. So as we've just said, 10%. Every time you see 10%, you want to think that's the same thing as a tenth. How do I do a tenth? So here, right, £52, I would be writing down your £52 like this, 52.00, and we know that we're having to divide by 10. So that means all the digits, and you can do this on your jotter as well. Point stays where it is. All the other place values all move one place to the right. So your 5 goes where the 2 is, 2 after the point, and you've got your 0 there on the end. So the amount of money is £5.20. So if you saw something in a sale and it said it normally costs £52 and we said we've got 10% off the price, you'd be getting £5.20 off of the price. So that's not much you would pay, that's the money off. So it would be £52, take away that £5.20 to work out how much you would pay. But just now we're just practicing working out 10%. So again here, 10% of £401. So we would do, that means we're doing 1/10 of £401. And that means I'm going to do 401, and I am dividing by 10. That means everything is going to move apart from the point, stays put, and all the digits move in order. So that 4 moves where the 0 is, 0 moves where the 1 is, 1 after the point, and then you just need to finish off your amount of money with a 0 in the end. So your answer would be £40.10. So now it's your turn to practice. You're going to copy these 4 examples from the notes page. Make a little note so you've got a reminder. Try and lay out your working in a similar way so we can see every time you work out 10%, you're actually dividing by 10.